Hey everybody, welcome to Tech Uploaded. I'm Chris, and today I'm finally unboxing this. It's the collector's edition of Bravely Default for the Nintendo 3DS. So I first played this game probably about 2.5 months ago. It was about 3 weeks before it came out, and I believe, if I remember correctly, it was released on February 11th, 2014. And I don't usually... There's a guy in a moped going by. That's classy. I don't usually play demos of RPGs especially, but of any game. I don't know why, just usually it's not my thing. But I kept seeing people online talk about how freaking awesome this game was. So I had to find out for myself. And hey, it was free, so why not? So there I sat, waiting for my Bravely Default download to finish. And I went into it with a lot of skepticism because it is a Square Enix game, and Square Enix on their RPGs hasn't exactly been knocking it out of the park lately. But man, this game won me over right away. It goes back to some of the fundamentals of the JRPG experience. Think the early Final Fantasies like 5 and 6, you know, especially 5. I mean, this just has so many things about it that are reminiscent of my classic Final Fantasy days, and all the nostalgia came rushing back, and I fell in love with the demo, and I played it all the way through, maxed out everything I could do, and as soon as I got done playing it, I went online and knew I had to do the pre-order. And as soon as I got to the pre-order page, there it was, the collector's edition. And for 20 bucks more, I was sucker for it. I was like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to be that sucker. I'm going to get the collector's edition. And I don't regret doing it because the box alone is awesome. It makes it worth it. So normally I would say let's tear into this, but let's gingerly open this and see just what the collector's edition gets you in addition to what I think is going to be a really awesome game. Just look at that box. That is a good-looking box. It's got that nice black matte finish on it, and then it's got that foil-stamped writing for Bravely Default Collector's Edition. Very reflective on the front. Very understated, very clean. I really like that look. It's just a very, very good-looking box. Looking at the top, you can see that it's probably going to open book style. So I have to see. And the back is quite the opposite from the front. It's very colorful. Lots of graphics going on. You see what I'm assuming are the main characters from what I could tell from playing the demo at least. And then it kind of tells you what you're going to get in the box. So you're going to get the Bravely Default game, obviously. Then it also says you get the soundtrack. It says mini album. And then the Bravely Default art book. And then 34 augmented reality cards, which I don't really care about those. But I got to say, it's the box that kind of sold me on this thing more than anything. The box really did it. All right, let's take a look inside. Very, very carefully. Cut that open. Let's see what we got. Oh, I was right. Look at that. Look at that. How cool. That is presentation right there. That is pure class. I am a sucker for nice boxes. I don't know. I can't help myself. I just really think that's cool. So you can see you've got the game. You've got the really cool looking soundtrack box. And then obviously the augmented reality cards. So let's get those out of the way first. So you've got this little box, this little pack. So let's bust them out here. What do you got? I've never actually used these before. I've heard of the idea of them, but yeah, so I don't know. I kind of don't want to open these. I kind of want to keep them as a collection, but I'll open them for you guys. All right. Pick a card, any card. These are pretty cool. So they're all the same on the back. And then you've got all these little different things here. So I actually don't know what the heck this does, but I'm assuming if you look at through, okay, you can kind of get an idea on these. You're probably going to look at it through your 3DS's camera, and various different things are going to happen. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of really interesting artwork on these, though. I'm sure that once I get done playing the game, this will make more sense to me, maybe. But yeah, there's no shortage of these little cards in there, though. All right, that's kind of boring. That was the thing I was least excited about. Next up, the soundtrack. Very, very nice. Very reflective, but very nice looking. Oh yeah, I like that back. Nice and clean. All right, let's open this up. Like I say, I haven't opened a compact disc in a very long time. Remember you used to be able to get those compact disc openers? You just go and slice along the bottom and you can get them out real quick. 90s memories. Okay, you have a very seductively dressed, very young-looking woman on the front of this. And then, of course, the CD, which is very similar graphically to the augmented reality cards, actually, the art style they're going with there. So it says it's a mini album, and it contains 10 tracks, so I'm assuming 10 of the key tracks in the game. So that's pretty cool. I'll have to get that ripped. Lossless. Okay, and then finally the actual game itself, and it does say that it also plays on the 2DS, which doesn't surprise me at all, because pretty much every 3DS game I play with 3D turned off, because it kind of gives me a headache. So, front of the box, this is what you would get if you bought just the game, obviously. Still nice, but nothing like this beauty back behind me here. And then looking at the back, it says part of a bundle, so it covers up the UPC. And again, this is very similar to the back of the actual collector's box, very similar art style, your usual rundown of the game. It is rated teen for fantasy violence, mild blood, mild suggestive themes, and use of alcohol. Oh, people are going to be drinking in this. It should also be rated uncomfortably suggestive for really young women not wearing a lot of clothes. Okay, so there it is, your usual 3DS cart, so that's cool, right in there. Those are usually a little tricky to get out, but there you go, nice and small. And then, of course, your book, which I'm not going to take out because my Nintendo eClub code is behind here, but your usual manual, you know how it goes. All right, now I have a feeling there's one more thing in here, because it said it had an art book, and this feels heavy over here. Oh yes. Look at that. How cool is that? Deluxe Art Book. Oh yeah, that's cool. I love these little art books. They're a nice collector's piece to have. You kind of see the outfits there, and then again the suggestive ladies. This kid looks a little confused. Just tons and tons of art, concept art, drawings. I love this stuff. This is just cool to have, and Square Enix really, their concept art is always pretty top-notch. They go all out. These books were really fun back in the late 80s, early 90s, NES, SNES days, when you had to use these books, and smaller versions of these actually would come with games when you got the game, because you had to look in the book to have an idea of what your little 8-bit or 16-bit character was supposed to look like. I remember opening up the manual for Legend of Zelda and seeing what Link was, they actually envisioned him being. And it was the same for the Final Fantasy series. You'd flip through and you'd look through it and you're like, oh, that's what Tifa's, or not Tifa, that's Final Fantasy VII. But, you'd go through and look. And I can't even think of any of the characters in Final Fantasy VI now. You go through and you look at them and you're like, oh, yeah. So that's what they're supposed to look like. I mean, you just couldn't get this kind of detail back in the day. And these books were how you envisioned it and how you would envision areas in the game. And they're still helpful. Very cool. All right, so there it is. The Bravely Default Collector's Edition with the art book and the soundtrack and the game in this really cool box that I can't wait to put up on display. Once I get this office renovation done, that's going to be a front and center showpiece for me. I just think it's really, really cool looking. And I can't wait to dig into this game and really start experiencing a lot more of what the game has to offer beyond just what was on the demo. And going back to not the Square Enix, but the Squaresoft classic days, when, in my opinion, they did their RPGs right. Final Fantasy V, Final Fantasy VI. Going back and playing a game that goes back to its roots and just really enjoying some nostalgia. So as always, thank you for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And be sure to check back soon.